Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is Many a True Nerd, and welcome back to Civilization VII, where last time we won a long and grueling fight against my enemies Isabella and Catherine, though, yes, the slight problem being, I'm not sure it's actually helped us that much. I mean, 100%, it feels great to carve a massive chunk out of Isabella's empire and steal the 4 world wonders, but okay, let's be honest, Isabella was already pretty much in last place in this game. She was not a threat. And despite the long, grueling fight to take her capital city, yeah, Catherine is still looking very, very good indeed. 3rd place in the world in science, and I've seen that science explode in the past, and I think I've realised why. Catherine converts culture straight into science. If her culture gets out of control, and it does, because she's Catherine, that's her entire thing, yeah, her science follows. And even worse, yes, after everything I've done, Catherine still got 8 cities. I can't just go around conquering them all, because if I do, I'll just end up more and more over my settlement capacity. And my settlements are already miserable. War weariness is taking its toll, so okay. We need to figure out a better solution. Now, part of that, I think, may lie with the Navy, so I've gone and recruited a naval commander and asked him to bring around, yes, 4 of my carracks that were so successful in the Spanish campaign. They're just going to have a poke around the coast in this direction and figure out what's going on. So, step 1, hold on to our new acquisitions, if only because, yeah, I don't mind having that House of Wisdom. That's giving me a decent amount of culture, and bloody hell, do I need culture right now. Despite everything I've done, I'm still okay. I'm still in last place. And that's behind Isabella. She's got cooking 3 cities, and one of them basically doesn't count, so oh, this is highly embarrassing. Though speaking of Isabella, hilariously, yes, Harriet Tubman has just declared war, so oh, Isabella, this is not a good game for you right now. And yes, there is one other very important thing I need to do as well. And that is find a nice cup of tea. You may recall I mentioned this a couple of parts ago, which is, yes, the civilizations you could play with going forward are very often a function of what resources you've got available. Hilariously, as a result of securing this wine we just stole off Catherine, I can now play as a France in the next era, if that's what I want to do. That's not what I want to do. What I want to do is play as Japan. And I need a 3T to do that, and right now, I've only got 1. Once I've got some settlement capacity, yeah, I can just integrate to my city-state, that's number 2. Number 3, however, is unfortunately not on any of these islands. So I've deployed my boats that are supposed to be guarding this area over towards, yeah, the various coastlines. We need to figure out precisely what's going on and where I can get some bloody tea. And while we're thinking about that, right, money is just piling up right now. Chickasaw is most definitely ready to become a city. I probably massively mispronounced that, by the way, along with many other words over the course of this series. I am sorry for all of them. Because, yeah, there's a lot of buildings you can only put up once you've actually got a city on your hands. So, you, my friend, you are definitely big enough to justify having proper city status. In other good news, by the way, yeah, my army commander did very well out of that war. It may have been a long, crunching affair, but at least now I've got a tip-top commander ready for the next proper one. So, yeah, we maxed out the assault tree, which is basically just the tree that makes your troops more powerful. In particular, yeah, +5 combat strength at full health. That is nice, very nice indeed. And when you fill a tree, you get to have a commendation. This one, another +5 combat strength for land units within the command radius. So, oh yeah, the lad is now very, very good at providing massive benefits to all units around him. And while all this is going on, do not forget, we've got a steady stream of beautiful treasure fleets heading back to my territory, providing me money and progress on, yeah, the economic track. So yeah, we get some cultural points as a result of the stuff we've stolen off Catherine. Economic, we're already, yeah, 2/3 of the way there. Beautiful. Military, I'm not even trying, but that's going surprisingly well. And yeah, science, it's just a case of piling more and more specialist and more advanced buildings onto certain specific tiles. Oh, That is true, by the way. Right, 70% progress. It's cocky crisis time, so... okay. Apparently, we're having some sort of a religious crisis on this occasion. Oh, this is actually really kind of bad news, by the way, which is... yes, unhappy settlements are following other players' religions could go into unrest and basically, you know, start burning themselves down. I think pretty much every single one of my cities is a different religion, because I've not been bothering to spread my own, that's not what I've been focused on, so... okay, I'm going to say all faiths must be accepted, because basically there's only one city in the world that follows Xenowillowism, and it's the holy city of Xenowillowism, because, yeah, in Civ 7, holy cities where you found a religion, they can't be converted, so... okay, this is going to end badly, isn't it? Well, as a starting point, this is actually good. So yeah, +8 happiness in settlements that don't follow my religion. But my missionaries lose charges, so okay, by agreeing to that, basically what I'm saying is, I give up on my religion, it's not doing anything. So, honestly, that's fine, like, for the time being, that's going to work in my favour. Despite that, however, right, one of my cities is still, very, very miserable. And immediately on a fire, right, okay, so it started happening straight away. Okay, I need this war to end with Catherine, because, yeah, that will get rid of war weariness. I could probably, yeah, force another city out of her, but if I do, I'm just going to be in more over-settlement capacity. Then my happiness goes down, then my city's burned down because we're in a crisis, so, okay. I suspect the best thing to do is, yeah, just hold where we are, otherwise we're going to start spiralling downwards. And don't forget, I need settlement capacity for my new T settlement, wherever that's going to be, so, okay. If Catherine's willing to make peace, I'm willing to take it right now. Okay, she'll do it. She doesn't want, you know, her city back or anything, so, fine. We're going to declare peace. Job done. That immediately stabilizes happiness a little bit, but not enough. This is why you've got to be careful with specialists, by the way. They're great, but they will tank happiness. And I tell you what we can do. My cities, which already have basically everything they need, they can convert their production into culture. It's not a great conversion rate, but it's better than nothing. Honestly, this is actually the biggest problem with, yeah, low culture I had not considered up to this point. The science tree may be great at, you know, unlocking a military units, yields, a strength with you units, etc, etc. But as far as I can tell, yeah, basically it doesn't do anything for settlement limits. If you want settlements, you need to go into the civics tree, and bloody hell, I've barely even started. We're in the cooking crisis to end the era, and I've barely taken any civics at all. Okay, focus on my civics for the time being, because one of them does give me settlement limit. They're relatively cheap, and yeah, the unique policies, those are powerful. Grand Secretariat in particular, yeah, adding a bonus science to gold, bonus gold to science, that'll help push me over the line for the yield thresholds we need. And there we go. Very next turn, architecture comes in, and that contains the ultimate happiness building for this era. And I'm happy to just buy it with money, so yes, you guys stop burning down your own bloody city. I do like the menagerie, just because, you know, you get elephants, you get giraffes. It's just nice to have a giraffe in your city on occasion. Also, John, if happiness is a problem, why don't you just, I don't know, move around the resources that generate happiness? Oh, and speaking of which, right. I've just got a narrative choice that's very difficult, actually. I can now add something to every single specialist. Either happiness, or production, or gold. And okay, there's quite a few specialists in the Empire. I feel like at the moment, going into a crisis, yeah, happiness is probably the best option. And I think that was also just enough to push us over the line somewhere in terms of, yeah, some yields. Was it you? It may have been you. Yes, I will admit, possibly the UI could be more helpful in helping you figure out which tiles are over 40 already, or very close to 40. Because, best as I can tell, there's like nowhere where it says what the combined yield of a tile actually is. So, you've just got to, like, you know, add the numbers up in your head, and hope you don't make a mistake. And this'll do nicely. Urban planning. Giant, beautiful buildings, and even more specialist limits. So, yeah, if you're not already at the 40 you need, another specialist on top of the ones you've already got, that'll do the cocky job. Okay, slight issue with, yes, Operation Ascend Boats to figure out what the deal with Catherine is, which is, yeah, I'm not allowed inside her borders, so I can't get that close to her land. So, what I've done is, yes, just bought a merchant who's going to go into Catherine's territory, because they can ignore borders, to do trade, and absolutely not spying. And better, we've just finished, yes, one of our personal civics, so, okay. That's just a piling of more yields onto more yields. And yeah, the war's over, so we can shove that on. That's fine. So okay, put that in place. And it's possible in a moment the game will realise, yes, we've just hit a scientific golden age. Okay, bare minimum, yeah. Our culture has now overtaken Isabella, this game's absolute complete and total loser, who is somehow currently running, yes, a gold deficit. Well done, Isabella. Oh, and hello, sexy. I found some flippy tea, and the game would be fine with me settling right about here. It's a bit dangerously close to, you know, Harriet Tubman, but... okay. I feel like that's the best bet we've got, because beyond that, yeah, hang about. I think I saw one tea here. That is well inland. We do not need that, no. Also, cock me, there's a lot of war still ongoing. Okay, apparently, yes, basically the entire world is at war apart from me. But, like, I don't feel, like, cowardly about that. I most definitely have been doing my fair share of warring this era. Okay, it's time to incorporate you guys, because, yeah, that's a 1 tea that I need. It's going to take 10 turns to do, that's fine. And there we go. We have successfully hit, yes, the milestone for the scientific golden age, though... as I say, the game could be a lot more helpful in terms of letting you know where it's happening, where it might need to happen, etc, etc. And okay, the crisis is getting worse too, so... right. There can either be a bonus gold in settlements not following my religion, so okay, that kind of works for me once again, we don't care about religion, but minus a 4 happiness in all distant lands, so that's all the islands and the new tea town I'm about to set up, so... okay, alternatively... influence towards, okay, that's an espionage action, don't care about that, we're not using that anyway, but minus 4 happiness at home. Okay, where is, like, happiness more of a concern just out of interest? Okay, currently, all distant lands are looking pretty chill. So yeah, we'll take the gold and they'll sacrifice a bit of happiness there, but so far, yeah, given this is a religious crisis and I'm not into religion, yeah, this has been a pretty mild one for me. And here we go. Urban planning, which... okay, we don't really need this anymore, because to be honest, yes, we've already got the actual, you know, super tiles we need. But, okay. Let's just say, going forward to the end of this era, and the beginning of the next, yeah, tile yields could get silly. What I am a tiny bit worried about is, yeah, like I was saying, the clock accelerates like crazy at the end. And while we are gaining a treasure fleet points at the moment... we're still a fair few shy, so okay, I need like 1 or more set of boats I think would do it. So that's only 5 turns away, then we have to get them home. That should be fine. I will also say, the continental war between, yeah, Catherine and Isabella versus their enemies on this continent, Harriet Tubman and Napoleon, that is a bit more fighty than I was expecting. Like, Catherine has shipped over an entire bloody flotilla. And hilariously, so is Isabella, so alright, she discovered some cooking of fighting her after losing Athens. And bloody finally, right, settlement limit goes up to 11. Also, we can build the Forbidden City, which I'm pretty sure someone built like several centuries ago, but whatever. But yes, as we turn our attention back to Specialist and Bark, I think you can start to see how potentially things get out of hand a bit, which is, yeah. Because we have got a food-generating building, and we've taken that narrative choice, it gives me a happiness on every single specialist, yeah. If I put a specialist here, basically, I don't lose any food. Like a 0.2 barely even matters. And the happiness is half offset by the benefit I gain from having another specialist. So, yeah, at that point you could really start piling them on without having to worry about any impact on your empire whatsoever. Straight away, that is a good 30 yield tile with barely anyone on it. There's a lot more we could do with you yet. Oh, hang the cock on! No one ever built the Forbidden City. I mean, that's +2 culture and gold on all fortification buildings. Right, we'll get building that then, damn it.
The past is the treasure. Time is its hiding place.
So alright, I've no idea how nobody built this, but yes, this is how it sometimes just is in Civ 7. And was in Civ 6 too. There are some wonders that, you know, the AI just doesn't feel like building. And some they will absolutely always bloody take, so, okay, appropriately enough, we've got the Forbidden City, which is, you know, historically correct, so that's nice. Though it does feel kind of odd that, like, you know, it feels like we've shut it out of the city. Given we've got all these walls here, then it's just, you know, right here at the front. Also, yes, the religious crisis is getting worse, that I've been completely ignoring because we're just not a religious civ. All missionaries in my territory gain 1 movement. I mean, sure, why not? Have fun, I suppose, and, okay. If you can avert a settlement you own, gain a migrant and damage 3 buildings in that settlement. Okay, we've not seen migrants yet, but yes, basically that's just a civilian unit you can use to instantly generate a pop. They're very bloody useful, so, I mean, honestly, yeah, welcome aboard, guys. This is really not a problem for me. If anything, I'm getting rich off it. Like, that +4 gold is nice. But yeah, I think you can see as time goes on and the specialist cap just rises and rises, yeah. The yields you get on certain tiles become a bit on the silly side. Oh, and this is perfect. I think, yeah, that might be the last treasure fleet we need to wrap up our business. Which is good, because, yeah, we're now over 90%, 2 turns till we get you on side, friend. Okay, I may have slightly underestimated the religious crisis, which is... okay, that's a notification for unhappy people of burning things down, and it's a stack of 12 of them. Okay, possibly, yes, things are getting a bit out of hand with the religious unrest. Oh, speaking of which, right, migrants are appearing, so good. We just need to, like, you know, get them somewhere where we can do something useful with them. Okay, possibly I may have misread one of the crisis policies, because a lot more is on fire than I was anticipating. Oh, and there we flipping go. We have now officially got, yes, a city-state inside our empire. And delightfully, yes, those guys have kind of, you know, pre-developed it for me a bit. Albeit not much. Still, that is 1 T in my empire. And I need to be very careful going forward in terms of, yeah, the exact order of play. The thing is, sometimes it's in your interest and not to lock your golden age in till you're absolutely certain you've achieved everything. You see, the moment you hit your golden age, yeah, timer skips forward, aggressively. I need to lock down my last cup of tea before we do that, and if anyone else hits, you know, a big golden age thing, yeah, time moves on anyway. Though it looks to me like, ooh, okay. There are some people getting nearby to a golden age in terms of culture. Nothing else is looking likely just yet. Right, you just go to sleep until, yes, we've definitely locked down that nice cup of tea. And okay, if I settle, yeah, right here, that is fresh water, but it's 2 tiles away from the tea. But okay, hang on, I can make this work. Just settle here. That's fine. I'm so sorry about this, by the way. Just, yeah, expand into... No, John, you've got to expand in this direction. There's no choice. So just expand into that direction. That's good. Now, yeah, just basically put down anything that gives you bonus food. And do it with money. Yeah, you're doing it with money anyway. And we're collecting more and more gold resources around the map, meaning this is getting cheaper and cheaper to do. Yes, that down a grist mill, whatever one of those is, for +5 food. That's got to be good, right? In fact, thinking of it, hang on. Hang on. Can I, yes, literally toss down a temple right here to remove that pop, so that I can then use that pop to... Okay, that feels kind of dodgy, but it flipping worked. We've now got the tea. And as a result of having a giant pile of tea, okay, we've unlocked Meiji Japan. We're also 2 settlements over, meaning happiness is going to tank, religious unrest is going to go bananas, so, okay guys, I think it might be, you know, time. You, sir, dump this treasure in the thing. That is literally just jumped to 100%, marvellous, so, okay. Unfortunately, it's the same Golden Age benefit, which is, it's nothing but your cities get to remain cities. Now, I will admit, that is a lot more compelling going into the modern era, because there's a lot more cities, like, it's saving you a lot more money, but still. I'm not convinced, to be honest. Goodbye, Ming Dynasty. You were rather good to us, actually. This has worked out pretty nicely. And at the end of it, yeah, we've got this weird powerhouse trio of cities that have all got basically the same population and a very similar output. So, okay, we're going to have to think about that very hard as we go into the next era and decide where's going to be the centre of our empire for the final act of this game. And there we go. The age has officially come to an end. So, like, ideally, it would be great if everybody could just chill out with the religious unrest.
The Ming spun trade routes across the earth, weaving networks and harvesting their wealth for the good of the people.
And there we go, Gwendolyn Christie doing her lovely work as the brand new narrator, saying goodbye to the Ming Dynasty. So, okay, it's time to move on. And we do admittedly have a lot of choices, so let's not make any assumptions. Let's go over these one by one here. America is absolutely cocky great, because they are all about production. Like, they've got two distinct unique buildings that are both production focused. And if you're big on resources, oh yeah, +2 food for every resource assigned to a city. That's nice too. That's growth, and growth is people, people is specialists, specialists win you the damn game. And then we've got the French, and I can't deny, the fact they can choose any celebration effects whatsoever, they're not like, locked into a particular one, that's kind of cool. That's actually very, very cool indeed. They've also got the really fun system that some civs have, which is they get their own unique great people that you can just summon in, you get one at random, they'll do a really, really good thing. They're very fun. Beyond that, yeah, very much focused on culture and happiness, especially happiness given, yeah, their unique quarter generates happiness on every single quarter. And by the modern era, you've got a lot of quarters in your city. That's a ridiculous amount of happiness. And then we've got Mexico, and these guys are all about the culture. They're like the big culture powerhouse. Two buildings, both about culture, and if you put them together, you get a unique quarter that does, would you believe it, even more cocky culture. Or alternatively, yes, we could, stick roughly where we are, stick with the whole Chinese thing, and I won't deny, this is not actually a bad civ either, though it does have a bit of a bad taste in the mouth to me that, yeah, you lose science for every single imported resource. But yeah, a really solid science building, a really good gold building to go with it, and bonus influence is never gonna hurt. It keeps you alive, it keeps your neighbours happy, endeavours can be very, very powerful. Not bad at all. And then we've got Siam, which we unlocked as well, and okay. I'm not convinced by these guys, because their big thing is, yeah, they play a suzerain game. But the thing is, all the existing city-states have been wiped from the board, and you don't know which ones are about to reappear, where they're going to be, how useful they're going to be, etc, etc. I feel like, yes, in a game where the city-states keep being reshuffled, playing a city-state game is very, very difficult in Civ 7. Beyond that, yeah, no real unique buildings, no unique quarter. Honestly, their unique improvement is a little bit on the underwhelming side to my mind, so I don't think these guys are for me. But then we get to Meiji Japan, who I just went to a lot of trouble to unlock, and there's a good reason for that, which is, I feel like an empire that starts with the Maya and ends with Japan can end up being a little bit on the silly side, because their big main thing you just get 100% of the time is, when you overbuild a building, replacing it with a modern variant, which you're going to be doing a lot, that generates science equal to 50% of the building's construction cost, and obviously, do keep in mind that in my core cities, where we've got the Maya districts down, my technologies, when they complete, feed through into production. So, basically, if you get this set up right, then science feeds into production, which feeds into science, which feeds into production, which feeds into science, which feeds into... Oh yeah. Yeah, this could get a bit silly if you line up multiple buildings and tanks, and they can just keep triggering each other in a circle, so, oh, now this is rather sexy, absolutely. Like, that's good enough for me to say yes to Japan already. But it gets better yet, because they get two amazing unique buildings as well. Production and gold. And if you put them together, you get a district that generates golden production on all adjacent districts and buildings as well. Not to mention, yeah, you get a decent fighter, you get a decent heavy naval unit, so... okay. This is the first time in Civ 7 I've managed to, line up a Maya into Japan game. And I am very much looking forward to it. This is going to be silly. So, welcome back to our bright new refreshed empire, and you may immediately notice, yes, a lot of new things are floating around, like a giant pile of new resources. Back in, Era 2, it was all about the exotic new world goods. All of a sudden, yes, we might be a bit more focused on things that are less delicious, but arguably more useful. Coal, oil, a lot of stuff had just appeared around the map. But let's not worry about that for now. Let's get our empire set up right. And there are some very difficult choices to make going into this era, so... okay. I could spend my 1 military point and 1 wildcard point on +3 war support in all wars declared against me, and... okay, trust me on this one. In Civ 7, there's going to be a bigger world war at some point during this era. And it might even be one I don't intentionally start because I don't like Catherine. Alternatively, right, given I basically don't have a religion, I can convert that into a +4 happiness under all circumstances, given, yeah, every settlement apart from the Holy City of Bark, that's not my religion. And then there's the 2 Golden Ages, which, as I say, maybe a tiny bit boringly, are very similar to what we've already seen. So on this occasion, yeah, my universities become Golden Age universities, they stay as good as they were, and... I mean, I can't turn that down. I just can't. That's too good to say no to. Not least as, yes, I am sitting on 3 grand right now. So restoring my cities is not going to be that difficult. Seriously, economic Golden Ages, not worth it. So okay, we will take the Enlightenment Golden Age. That's good. I've still got 1 more point. I could take... ooh. I could take Lycium's. But if I want to take that now, I'm going to have to give up that wildcard point, meaning I can't have the war support. I'm going to take it. I think that's too good to say no to. That's just a very, very good indeed. So, okay. I may as well take the +2 gold for each unique resource, because do bear in mind, so many resources just appeared on the map. So, we'll take that and 1 economic point 2 just to use up the change. That leaves me with, yeah, 1 cultural and 1 military. And we will take expansionism and, okay, diplomacy or culture. It's gotta be culture, I think. And before we lock that in, there's 1 final difficult choice to make, and I feel like at the end of the day, it's only right if, having swung over to this side of the Empire for the second era, the centre returns to where we began. Welcome back, Bark, I missed you. And yes, for the rest of the game, you shall be Tokyo. Okay, next up the attributes, and hilariously, that's literally my first ever cultural attribute, so... okay, that checks out. I was, a bit on the slow side when it came to culture. Economy, I'll take, yeah. Gold on resources in towns. There's going to be a lot of towns, like, farming, mining, etc., etc., as we go into the late era and desperately try and support our megacities. And we can take, yeah, that option I was discussing previously. +1 specialist limit in every city, but I have to give up a city to do it, and I'm on 13 out of 16 right now. You know what? I'm taking it. I'm going to regret it, but I'm taking it. And then we've got the social policies. So, right, we've got a blend of a Ming and a Maya here. It's got to be vegetation in the cities. That was great. Science on gold, gold on science. I've got so many of them. That's got to be the option too. And then... ooh, that last one's tricky. I think science on happiness is the way to go. So alright, we've got a nice little blend there, lovely. So okay, put all that together and 254 science versus a 146 culture. So we are leading on science, but it's close. And once again, Catherine is a bloody nearby. As for culture, meanwhile, okay. We're behind but not as behind as we have been. We're making progress here. And this, of course, is only the start. There's a lot to talk about all of a sudden. Like, for example, a new resource scramble. A Civic's tree that's about to get even more complicated than anything we've seen before. And a very, very big change in, how resources work. With the introduction of factory goods. So, okay. How about we wrap things up there and pick up in the modern era in the next episode because, okay, as I say, there's going to be a lot of stuff going on over the next few turns. A new land scramble is going to kick off and there's a very real possibility in the not too distant future, a world war is going to begin too. I've never played a Civ 7 late game where there isn't at some point a gigantic world war of some description or another, so, right. We need to, come up with a plan, figure out what our objectives are, and basically, yes, try and determine how precisely we're going to destroy Catherine once and for flipping all. So hopefully you join me next time for that. But in the meantime, I've been John, this has been Many a True Nerd, and this has been Civilization 7. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
I really hope we've agreed open borders with Japan, by the way, otherwise they have basically just invaded. I may have picked the wrong fight over... Yep. And my cities, of course, have got even more flipping high-tech, though mysteriously still completely dependent on, an aqueduct. Now, I'm not saying your entire army is mostly already dead, but it kind of actually is.